Pain in the Patoot here. Welcome to the channel. This video is going to be a small tips video for new players that are just coming into the game. Right now in the game, we are in what's considered late wipe, which means every time BSG puts something substantial into the game, they wipe everybody's account and force everybody to start from square one. So that happened about 5 months ago. So we're getting pretty close to their 6 month cycle. But people have been playing the game for 5 months. So they will have access to better armor and better guns and better ammunition. And you at this point may not. So what do? Well, once you get up to level 15, you can get to the flea market and you can buy a lot of it that way. Once you get your hideout workbench leveled up, you can start crafting it. And some of the traders, once you level the traders up, you'll have access to better ammunition, but not all of it. So, um, yeah, some of the ammunition you can only find in game. But what this is about, what this particular pointer is about for you, is how to extend or what to do if you don't have a lot of really good ammunition. So, as you're aware, when a bullet hits a piece of body armor, it has a chance of penetrating. If it penetrates and it passes through the armor and damages the body below, and it's highly effective. If the ammunition can't penetrate the armor, it damages the armor. So, for example, this strand hog here is a piece of class 4 body armor. It's actually an armored rig. It's got a maximum of 45 health points, and it's currently sitting at 45. But if I start shooting it, even though the bullets may not be penetrating and hitting my body or getting to my body, each time a bullet hits the armor, it's going to drain points away from the leftmost number, which is 45. When it hits 0, then any ammunition will penetrate it. So what you need to do is when you encounter a player, if he was wearing that, you would want to use high penetration ammo to get through as quick as possible, because the challenge is going to be for new players is, yes, any round in the game can penetrate any piece of armor if you can get enough rounds onto the um, armor, whether it be body armor or armored rig. If you can get enough rounds onto the armor and live long enough. So that's the problem. It's not that you can't kill a player when you encounter him if he's got better armor. It's you never live long enough to damage his armor enough. You die first. He may follow you. You might have done enough damage that he doesn't live very long. But it's a race to deliver the most damage to the other player. And with, for example, my equipment here, this is a level 5 piece of armor. It's got 46 hit points. Um, if I went up against somebody using the Strad Hog, I'm going to live longer because I got a better piece of body armor, and that's how the game functions. So you need to be able to deliver maximum damage to a player and as quickly as possible. So that means you start with high penetration ammo, and then just once you started penetrating the body, you can kill the person. So anything after that can be so-so ammunition. So to extend BP, so this is 7.62 ammunition. It's probably the best 7.62 you can get in the game. I think there's one better, but this is a common that you'll find people running right now. And if I only really have 30 rounds, what do? Well, what you can do to extend your stock of high value ammunition is load them into the top part of the mag so that they're coming out first. So they're coming out first and hitting the body armor and hopefully penetrating it or damaging it enough that the PS rounds that would follow can kill the player if the BP rounds don't do it. Usually it takes about 15 rounds to get through a piece of body armor and kill the person underneath. So What I want to do then is I want to split the stack and I want to put the PS at the bottom because they'll come out last, and the BP at the top because I want them to come out first. So in order to split a package or a pile, you click on it, then use control, and then you drag, and it brings up this dialog. So I said 15 rounds is usually what you need to go through. Armor, you can maybe get away, you probably could get away with 10. I'll just do that. And I say accept, and now it split my pile into 20 and 10 as I requested. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. So I'm going to put 10 rounds of BP at the top of the mag and 20 at the bottom. So I got 27 here. So I do the same thing, select it, control, drag, and now I go down to, yeah, it doesn't do a 7. There, so I've split off 8. So I'm going to put 19, and that leaves space for 11. So I'll put 10, and I'll grab one more. So now I've got 11 rounds of BP at the top, and the rest is PS. And that will allow me to extend my stock of BP ammunition a lot longer. So what I would do going into a raid, I've got AUGs here right now. I'll move it. Give me a second here. So what I would do is I'd go in here and then I would take my stash of BP and put it into my pouch, and then maybe put the PS, because you can buy PS even at level 1. I think you can buy PS. So you'd keep your PS out there. Um, Usually then once you're in a gunfight, you'll always have a mag that doesn't have a lot of ammunition in it. So sometimes you can just simply throw the BP on top because you've only shot 10 rounds or whatever. But you can still do the select, control, drag in here to split your piles up. And if I ate up half this mag, what I would do would be unload it, then totally unload it, and then go through the process again of splitting the mag and then putting it back in the gun. You can do that if you got time in a raid, but that's what I would do. So that is how you can extend your stash of high quality ammunition for a longer period of time and be more effective. So hopefully that that tip is of some help to you. Okay, on to the next one. All right, so here is the next pointer for new players, and this is going to be the leg meta. What the heck is a leg meta, right? You've never heard of it before. Some of you might have heard about it. Let me pop over here to my health. And the one thing you'll notice in the game is there is no armor in the game that covers your legs currently. So what that means is you can shoot somebody in the legs and to the point you will destroy their legs. And the game has an interesting mechanic in it that damage after your leg is destroyed then is propagated, splashed, transferred to your other organs. So if I come in here and shoot somebody's leg up and drain it down to nothing, then you'll start seeing that the left arm, the stomach, the right arm, the thorax will start taking damage after it can't be damaged anymore, if that makes sense. So when you come into the game and you're running up against players and you're having a hard time taking them down, it's probably because you're sitting there shooting them center of mass. Um, it's funny, guys that I know that came out of the forces struggle a bit with that concept because that's what they're always told is shoot them in the center of mass. Well, in this game, if you come in with weak bullets, you may not be able to get through their body armor, and you won't have time to damage it enough that you can get through the body armor. So what you need to do is start shooting out their legs. You can even extend that to the stomach. If you notice here is some different types of body armor. And every piece of body armor, if you go and inspect it, will show its class, but it also shows what area of the body is covered. So this one is class 6, and that means it's a really good piece of armor, which means people will want to run with it. The problem is it only covers the thorax. It doesn't cover the head. It only covers the thorax, and that means the arms are available and the stomach is available as well as the 2 legs. So even though this is a high level piece of armor and people will want to use it, it actually leaves a lot of the body unprotected if you can direct your shots. So you usually go for the head, although you'll start finding people using uh, face shields, and it also has eyes and jaws it covers, so it covers basically your head. So you'll start seeing people wearing helmets with visors. So it's the shot to the face is low percentage shot. The cock shot, as I like to call it, or leg meta, which is shooting lower in the body and the legs, that's the play for you. If you're new to the game, start to practice, especially on the scavs. If you're doing runs and you're encountering scavs, start shooting at the legs. Notice here again, I talked about this piece of armor in some previous ones, but again, here we go. Armor areas. This actually covers the thorax and stomach. So those two. So this actually gives you far more protection. If I go here to this piece of armor, it does left arm, right arm, and thorax. Doesn't cover the stomach. So if you could, besides shooting them in the legs, you could shoot them in the arms, but it's much easier just to go for their lower extremities. So that's the thing. It's called the leg meta, and it is very valuable means of playing. It just takes a new mindset that you start shooting at a player's lower portion of the body. Don't hit him in the chest. Don't hit him in hitting him in the head at early wipe when you're running against people not running a helmet. You can get them down in 1 or 2 shots. But if they're wearing a helmet with a face shield, it's easier, it's better to go for the legs, and then you can kill them by simply destroying their legs, and that transfers the excess damage from a destroyed leg to other vital parts, and you'll see the person die. Okay? So that tip is the leg meta, shoot low. And it is a skill that you need to practice. I still struggle to remember to do it sometimes, but take my word for it. If you're coming into the game, you're running up against players much better equipped for you, your only chance is going to be shooting them in the legs. Okay? Okay, so then the final tip that I'm going to put into this small video is pre-meds. What does that mean? Well, again, I often will bring up playstyles that I see from some of the better streamers as suggestions for you. So, pre-med is the consumption of a painkiller, whether it be something like this, removes pain. This is um, ibuprofen, or even inject myself with another something that gets rid of pain, removes pain. So I'll do that just before I go into a fight. So if I see a scav, I see a player, I know I'm going to be engaging them. Even sometimes I'll do it if I'm going to run across a big stretch of open territory. I'll pop a pain med. Again, even there's the what are like there's Gold Star. Oops, that's grenades. There's Gold Star and Vaseline, and even Vaseline removes pain. The different types, it's the duration that they have. So this is 300 seconds, whereas a Propitol removes pain 240 seconds. So the different this is 280 seconds. So each one of them have a different duration of removing pain. Morphine, it has 300 seconds. So You can run on broken legs if you slash yourself with a morphine injector. Um, that's beside the point. So, why pre-med? Why pop a morphine before you do something? Why pop a pain pill? Why pop or use Vaseline or the Gold Star? Well, what it's for is if you're out and fighting and you get shot in the legs, you can you'll find that if you're running, trying to run away, potentially try to flank, you're moving, you get shot in the leg, it immediately stops your movement down to, sorry, it doesn't stop it, it takes it from running to walking. If you pre-med before you get into a fight, the pain removal is active. So if you were running across an open parking lot and you didn't pre-med, and somebody shoots you in the leg, you're going to go from running to walking and you're an easy target. If you pre-med with a painkiller and you're running across that same parking lot and somebody shoots you in the leg, you will be able to continue to run until your stamina is exhausted. So it allows you to get out of that big open space into some cover. So that is the benefit of pre-medding. It allows you, you're already protected against pain. I guess that's the best way to say it. You're protected against pain, which allows you to move into cover or, whatever. So you'll often see the good players will pop a stim, a pain pill, a Vaseline when they're running into areas that they know may contain some players. So they're going into a building and they've heard some footsteps. They'll pop pain. They're going to run across an open field, like I said. They'll pop something. They're going into a section of the woods that they know there's some stashes there, so they are anticipating running into another player. So you'll always see them pre-medding in anticipation of action. And I would recommend you try to do that too, if you can afford them. Painkillers are fairly cheap on the flea, and I think you can get them relatively early from the traders. I'll just have a check, and I'll go down to level 1. So yes, these painkillers here, very like early common. It's only 80 seconds, so you run through a lot of them. But if you're going into a fight, it's enough for a fight. Okay, thanks.